blood shaking my heart, the awful, awesome, the awful daring of a moment's surrender, which an age of prudence can never retract. Ironical. An age of prudence, 20th century, impossible. Prudence, the word refers to the state of conscientiousness, the state of being wise, the state of being in a position to judge the good thing, which an age of prudence can never retract, can never discard, can never take back. I mean, can never done away with. That is the wasteland of 20th century. Ironical statement. What have we given? We have given blood shaking my heart. We have given awful daring of a moment's surrender, and which an age of prudence can never retract. This sexual intercourse, this sexual infidelity is the only thing by this and this only we have existed. We have been existing in this wasteland. By this and this only we have existed, which is not to be found. This is not something which we boast of, which we record, or which we write in our diaries that this yesterday I had this sexual relationship, tomorrow I will have this, and you don't keep it. You don't make it public, which is not to be found in our obituaries, not to be posted off, not to be told, not to be disclosed. Do we do it in the obituaries? No. Or in memories draped by the beneficent spider. Maybe a diary, maybe the lekha jokha, maybe that spider's web of memory, spider's web where we put everything in the entangled state of living. It is not to be found there as well. Or under seals broken by the lean solicitor will, wasiyat. No, we don't mention this here as well. In our empty rooms, look at this keyword emptiness. In our what? Empty rooms. Da. Should we give our life to this? Should we give our life to be tedious, to be Eugenides, to be one-eyed Smyrna merchant, to be Belladonna, to be Lady of Rocks, to be Mrs. Porter, to be Stetson, to be the tarot card woman, to be anybody, be it the nymphs or the woman from the high class or the little game of chess from lower class. Should we? Is our life solely meant to achieve this only? The answer is no. And this very statement, this very idea has been, when I was talking about W.B. Yeats, when I was referring to his poems Sent to Byzantium, in the first paragraph, when W.B. Yeats writes, that is no country for old men. Look at that. The young in one another's arms, fish, flesh, fowl, mackerel, crowded seas, all neglect and all go for sensual delight, and they all neglect the monuments of unaging intellect. This is what we have given for. We need to give more. We need to go beyond this. Datta. To give. Are you getting the idea? Datta.
Yes, sir.
Datta can also mean extending helping hand. Let us help them who are in distress. Let us help them who are in dire need. Those who are poor, those who are living in a desolate state of life, empty state of life, those who are in destitution, poverty. Let us give without the idea of giving. You must have read Murder in the Cathedral and the tempters, four tempters. And the last temptation to be a martyr. But Eliot opines that in order to be a martyr, real martyr, one even doesn't need to feel being martyred. The idea of becoming a martyr is in itself a temptation, is in itself a sin. You do it and you don't have to disseminate it. You don't have to make it a propaganda that I have done this. No, do it. Irrespective of being noticed, being referred, being appreciated, irrespective of all these things, give only. नेकी कर दरिया में डाल, famous Urdu proverb. नेकी कर दरिया में डाल. Is it possible? If it is possible, then this is datta. Give, to give. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Datta, to give. For the human beings, for us, for all of us. Then, da. Dayadvam, to sympathize. For demons. How can we give? Can we give without sympathetic? Can we give without empathetic? Can we?
No, sir.
We cannot. Anyway, Dayadham, da, for demons to sympathize. Turn in the door once and turn once only. We think of the key, each in his prison. Each in his prison, each in her prison, each in his or her cell. Self-contained world, self-sufficient world, egotistical sublimation. Christian allegation to William Wordsworth. Each in his prison, thinking of the key, each confirms a prison only at nightfall. Ethereal rumors revive for a moment a broken Coriolanus. We have two differences here. The first reference is from from Dante's Inferno, Divine Comedy, which talks about a Count Ugolino. Count Ugolino, Ugolino, Count Ugolino, who has been in a cell of a prison along with two of his sons and two of his grandsons, symbolizing the lack of sympathy, symbolizing selfishness, selfness, symbolizing egoism, egotistical sublimation, if you can call it. Count Ugolino in Dante's Inferno. The second reference is to, as the name is evident here, ethereal rumors revive for a moment a broken Coriolanus. Shakespeare's play Coriolanus, who was a warrior and after defeating his army, he comes back to his country where certain allegations are levied against him and he's forced to leave his own motherland and joins hands with those whom he defeated. And along with their help, he is on the border to fight with his own people, the people of his own motherland. To kill his own friends, to kill his own brothers, to kill his own countrymen, broken, seething in revenge because the country for which he fought didn't give him his dues, and the loyalty towards the enemy camp is broken. At that juncture, his mother arrives on the border, soothes him, consoles him, pacifies him. Broken Coriolanus, asympathetic, seething in his own power, seeking revenge, forgetting affection, love, care, tenderness, humanity, and human values. Broken Coriolanus. Aren't we sometimes Coriolanus? Thinking of ourselves, confirming a prison for sure? I have heard the key turn in the door once and turn once only. Think of the key, each in his prison, thinking of the key, each confirms a prison. Count Ugolino and broken Coriolanus. Dayatvam, sympathize, coming out of one's own narrow self, coming out of one's own narrow thinking, and the venture, the attempt to embrace the whole humanity wholeheartedly. Sympathy, the power to sympathize, the power to be human, the power to be humane, the power to be with humility. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Da, datta, da, dayadhvam, sympathize, and then da, damyata, control, control, to control. What? It's for angels. Control. The boat responded as if life is a sea, life is a river, and the boat is the life itself. Boat is the individual itself. The boat responded gaily to the hand expert with sail and oar balancing attitude to run smoothly, to function easily. The sea was calm. Your heart would have responded gaily when invited, beating obedient to controlling hands. Control the fire sermon. Control Lord Buddha, his middle path, his middle madhyam marg. Control da, datta, to give for human beings, dayadhvam, to sympathize for demons, damyata, control for angels, and in turn to give, to sympathize, to control is to be the human being which Eliot is thinking, which Eliot intends to look at least in this West land. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And I think this da Doot is from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad used by Eliot in the 20th century. But you can well think of the relevance of this here. in 21st century, which is burning, burning, and burning. In Corona times, what we needed most, what we learned most, to give, to sympathize, control, isn't it? Did we or did we not?
Yes,
Hmm?
sir.
Yes? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Then the poet says, fishing, a traditional symbol to bring fertility. Fishing, he says, I sat upon the shore. I sat upon the shore, fishing with the arid plain behind me. Shall I at least T.S. Eliot's I, T.S. Eliot as I, or Tiresias as I, or Saurav as I, or as you as I? Shall I at least, मिनिमल अफर्मेशन, एट लीस्ट चलो कम से कम इतना ही कर लेते हैं. Shall I at least set my lands in order? Yes, why not? I should. Let me make my land fertile. Let me fish for myself at least. And if everyone as I begin to fish, if everyone as I begin to fertile the ground, the whole land will be fertile. Isn't it? It is or not?
Yes, sir.
Shall I at least set my lands in order? Yes, sir, I should. London Bridge is falling down, falling down. The London Bridge, the empire, the old values, traditional values, God, myth, mythology, roots, water, whatever the things that were sustaining us, they all are falling down, falling down. A nursery rhyme with adult connotations. London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. And in this case, in this situation, in this vast panorama of utilitarian anarchy, shall I at least set my lands in order? I must. Yes, if not me, who will? Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
What do you think? Hello?
Yes, sir.
आगे बढ़ें?
Yes, sir.
पक्का ना?
Yes, sir.
चलिए.
Sir, you're not audible.
I'm so sorry, my camera was muted. Just 1 second. Anyway, so so we have maybe 4 to 5 more references, and three of them are taken from different languages as fragments, as excerpts, along with da. We have to keep them in mind, according to Eliot. So the first fragment, the first reference, Oi suscos nel foco eme. This is Latin. So let me not try this. This is Latin, and this Latin phrase is taken from again Dante and his Divine Comedy, and this means he this translates into English as he hid himself in the fire that refined him. This is the English translation. Hid himself in the fire that refined him. So we have different symbol or different symbolical affiliation, different symbolical interpretation of the term fire. What we did in the fire sermon opposite to that. And here, this passage is taken from the circle of homosexuals in Divine Comedy. And the translation, that is, hiding himself in the fire that refined himself, it refers to as a kind of continuous remembrance. Remembrance of what? Remembrance of pain, remembrance of suffering, pain and suffering, which we generally discard. Sibyl of Cumae, remember that, the very epigraph. We generally tend to discard any kind of pain and feel pang, as we have discussed already. So it talks about the remembrance of the pain, of the suffering, because in the purgatory of Divine Comedy of Dante, in the purgatory, the soul suffers. And the hope lies in suffering only. Hope lies in suffering. It's quite painful. If I ask you to remain aloof abstaining from, refraining from sexual relationships. And if I ask, if he asks us, in fact, to not to fall a prey to the seven deadly sins, won't we consider life as suffering, life as painful? Yes, we would. But this suffering, this pain, according to Eliot, is to be on the path of hope, is to be on the path of something positive. Let us not take life. I mean, this is very much related to Adam and Eve story. Though Eliot was anglicized in the year 1927, but here we can well confirm that how deeply he believes concept of original sin, at least the suffering which we have to undergo, which we are undergoing in this mortal world. And how have we forgotten the Sylvan scene? Remember that? A game of chess? How have we forgotten the story? And I mean, this has only become a story, not more than that. Suffering is important. Pain is important. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The second fragment, again Latin, and it is taken from a poem per Vigilium Veneresis. PER, please note it down. PERVIGILIUM, per Vigilium Veneresis. Veneresis. Veneris, sorry, Veneris. VENERIS. Per Vigilium Veneris, which translates in English as the Vigil of Venus. The Vigil of Venus. It's anonymous piece of writing. Per Vigilium Veneris, the Vigil of Venus, and the fragment translates in English as when shall I become the swallow? When shall I become the swallow? And yes, the same swallow, Procnius swallow, in the story of Tedious Philomela and Procne. And we did discuss how the process and how the transformation of Procne as swallow and Philomela as a nightingale by the divine intervention was an act of transformation, was an act of freedom. Swallow and nightingale were released into freedom and joy. because as a bird, at least, and even if we don't consider them as a bird, and even if we will think about the story of Procne and Philomela, the barbarous rape of Philomela, cutting her tongue, will anybody accept this? Nobody. Can we relate it to the rape incidents? I mean, this rape is a buzzword now. Every day you open the newspaper, you open the news channel, and you have this rape. As if rape has become potato and tomato, dhania free. Sorry for being so crude. So at least if we don't go about that, transformative uh, affiliations, at least can we think about Swallow, Procne, Philomela, Nightingale as a painful reminder not to indulge in such activity, not to be the part of such activity. Can we? Yes? What do you suggest?
Yes, sir.
Think about it. Third fragment is French one, French, and it is a sonnet titled The Disinherited. The Disinherited by the French poet Gerard, 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 D Nerval, Nerval, Gerard D. Nerval. Right. And this French fragment translates into English as the Prince of Aquitaine of the ruined tower. The Prince of Aquitaine and the ruined tower. The prince must be busy, must be rich, must be wealthy and prosperous. And his ruined tower, first of all, can be compared to the towers, the London Bridge, and the Twin Towers 2001 America, if we can relate it to that. Chaos, debris, on the one hand. On the other hand, it refers to Gerard de Nerval as a folk poet, as a folk poet. And you know, folk life, lok jivan, isn't Eliot so far talking about the bringing back of folk life, tradition, myth, ritual, religion. Was he not? Tell me, was he not? Hello?
Yes, sir, he was.
He was, in fact. So these three fragments, he says, these fragments I have showed against my ruins, against the ruins of this wasteland. Why then I'll fit you, Hieronymus, mad again. Hieronymus refers to Thomas Kit's Spanish tragedy. And if you know the story, Hieronymus' son is dead, is killed, murdered. Horatio, and Hieronymus is asked to write a play within a play, as we have in Hamlet. And Hieronymus punishes the murderers in that play within play. He's mad. And in that play, Hieronymus or Eliot like Hieronymus uses the dialogues from different languages. As we have seen here, he do the police in different voices as we have known the initial title of the poem, The Westland. In the same way, Hieronymus too was taking recourse to different fragments of different languages in that play within play. And that different voiced state of being, that is urgently required, is urgently needed. The Hieronymus is mad again. We need to be complex. We need to devise new methods. We need to set new trends. We need to be mad. The Hieronymus is mad again. Why then the I'll fit you? A statement from the Spanish tragedy. Datta, Dayadhyam, Damyata, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hello?
Yes, sir.
इतना सन्नाटा क्यों है भाई? That's all for today. Read. We shall meet on Monday. And it will be your turn, my turn as well. Okay then. Thank you so much. Let's meet on Monday. No questions today. I'm sorry. I'm tired because I had 3 classes in a row. So So we shall meet on Monday. Okay? Am I clear?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.